I naively took a personal check for an amount like that. There's a point in every young, impressionable 17-year-old's mind where he finds himself perusing the web for exquisite examples of the most appreciated vehicles possible. At the time, I had been spending my summers and my off days from school detailing cars and paint correcting and whatnot, and applying, at the time, very primitive sealants and coatings and whatnot. So I had saved up some money, and I figured the best place, to look would be on the interwebs at the time and try and find what I would consider to be maximum budget of $15,000 M5, which today wouldn't buy you much, but back then, a couple years ago, would buy you quite something nice, I found an example. It was a Le Mans Blue over caramel, extended leather interior, beautiful car with just a tick under 62,000 miles, which was remarkable for its age. I immediately messaged the seller, and there was a few shoddy photos of the car. There's some pixels out in the cluster, which seemed a bit odd for a low mileage BMW, but also did not seem odd for a BMW of any age. We met up, and the gentleman essentially told me that he was getting a divorce and he needed the car gone. And his wife was either going to take the car from him and do, who knows what with it, or he needed the money for lawyer fees and whatnot. And I felt bad, but I also didn't feel bad enough to beat him up on the price a little bit. He was asking, I think, $16,500, which is a very fair price back then and very good deal today for a low mileage E39 M5. And I found myself pushing towards maybe, hey, you know what? I offered him, I think, 12. And as Ed might say, I think we met right smack in the middle at 12.5. So I found myself driving home, parents not in the picture on this one, with an E39 M5 new to me. I had a call from my mother who says, oh, can you stop at the local grocery store on the way home, pick up some eggs and milk and whatever? I said, of course, don't worry about it, oblige. I figured, coming home with a new car, but with the groceries might be a little bit better for, better splash landing for me. So I remember our local grocery store, Heinen's, has a front parallel parking lot, and I parked the car right in the front spot. And again, no license plates in the car yet. I hadn't even gone to the BMV yet in Ohio. And I walked into the store and came back, and there was a gentleman rather, pryingly looking at the vehicle and, sort of cupping his hand, looking inside the vehicle. My first thought was maybe, he was law enforcement looking at this car, got no license plates, is it stolen, whatever. And I figured that, it's a Sunday afternoon, this guy seems like he might not be a law enforcement individual. And I figured, hey, what's going on? And he said, this is a beautiful car, it's so nice. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And he's like, how did you come across it, whatever. And I was like a little apprehensive at first. And I sort of asked him, I said, well, I just bought it actually recently. He goes, oh, it's great, whatever. He goes, my father had a very similar specification M5, but in 2008, he unfortunately had to sell it. And I said, huh. And I had run a Carfax on this vehicle before, and I remember that it had traded hands 08, 09. I can't remember exactly when, but I thought, okay, but granted, a Le Mans Blue over caramel E39 M5, there's not a few of them, there's not a ton of them, but it's like, in the Northeast Ohio region, the car stayed local for his entire life. We started talking more and whatnot, and he said, oh, well, where'd you get it from? I said, well, I got it from a private sale, and he was sort of trying to pry, price-wise and whatnot, and I was, again, young, naive, 17-year-old kid at the time, but I still wasn't trying to let him go with all the information, He started saying, oh, well, I'd love to buy one like this and give it back to him or whatever. He's retired now and he misses the car dearly, but the price of these cars have gone up. He took a bath in the car when he sold it. And I said, oh, that's such a bummer or whatnot. So we get talking and going over, and I said, you want to sit in the car, whatever, open the, the coolant expansion tank was white, which is a rare thing for those E39 M5 owners out there that have been replaced. The car had been well cared for. It would eventually need probably some VANOS work, as all early 2000s BMWs do need. But, we got talking, and he essentially said, well, I'd love to purchase this car from you. And I said, well, it's not for sale. I just purchased it, whatever. And I said, well, do you have your father's VIN number? Do you know which, this might be, joking, this might be the car, trying to drive up the price a little bit for me if he was actually interested in purchasing it, right? He goes, oh, well, I don't know. Let me get my old man on the phone, whatever. So he sort of called up his father. And of course, the man had meticulous binder of service records and whatnot, which I failed to get in my ownership. I got no records of the car. And turns out, lo and behold, it was the car, the same VIN number and everything. And I was smiling ear to ear at this point. And the guy was like, well, I have to have it. And I said, well, that is the worst thing you could have told me, to myself. And I was like, you have to have it? Great. The gentleman rather unshrewdly told me that he wanted the vehicle in the exact specification it was in. perfect leather, perfect everything, paint the way it was as it left his father's garage. Well, I was thinking about repainting it. And he goes, oh, wrapping it or repainting it? I was like, oh, I thought about maybe starting with plasti dip and moving on to repainting, a few panels here and there. And I almost saw him wince. I thought, the more I get under this guy's skin, the higher he'll go. So I said, well, I thought about lowering it too. And he said, oh, okay, maybe with some suspension, some new springs. I said, I thought about just cutting the original ones. And I think I saw his eyebrows meet his hairline, which was non-existent. And he rather said, I was like, well, every high school kid wants an M5, right? And he sort of, again, once more winced. And I said, well, everything's for sale for the right price. And that's when we started talking about price. And he said, well, throw out a number. And I said, well, again, I just got the car. It's so great. I have all these things planned for it. I have all this money earmarked for it. It would have to be a good sum of money, let it go. And he said, well, okay, come on. Give me a number. I said, well, I think 30 is a good number. And granted, these are not enthusiast auto group type vehicles to be asking $30,000 for an E39 M5. He wasn't quite in tune with the market. And he said, oh, well, that's way too much for an 18-year-old BMW, blah, blah, blah. And we started going on and on and on. We eventually settled right around 25. Being that it was a Sunday, the lovely individuals at the Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles were not in today. So I figured, why even title it? This nice gentleman wants to give me a check immediately. I figured, well, I can just remove myself from the whole situation and grab the closest thing for a bill of sale, which happened to be a cocktail napkin in the glove box, and write out a bill of sale to the nice gentleman purchasing the vehicle with the agreed upon price, mileage and whatnot, and send him on his merry way. That's what we did. Luckily or unluckily for this nice gentleman purchasing the vehicle, I hadn't filled out my information on the back of the title yet. So my name, address, all that stuff was left off. So I figured, why even have myself be part of the situation? I can just be a 2-hour custodian of this nice vehicle and pass along with 100 miles added to it to this nice gentleman in the Heinen's parking lot. And that's exactly what we did. I still had a bill of sale from the previous owner, which I quickly scrapped up, rewrote that with the correct numbers on there and handed it to him. And then I caught an Uber home. And he was very happy and wanted to cut me a check. And I naively took a personal check for an amount like that. But, I got his number and whatnot. I figured he would be good for it. He seemed like a nice guy. And then I got home with an Uber and my mom said, where are the groceries? I said, Mom, I just made 13 grand in a day. The groceries are in the trunk of an M5 and it's gone. Don't worry about it.